to the Padres Postgame Show on the Padres Radio Network. Coming up, we'll deliver a full recap of today's game, including highlights from the biggest moments. We'll take a trip down to the manager's office to hear from Mike Shildt. Plus, we'll bring you scores from around Major League Baseball. The Padres Postgame Show starts now on the Padres Radio Network.
We are live here at Petco Park as the Padres fall 5-0 to the LA Dodgers here tonight in Game 2 of this three-game series. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building as we wrap this one up. Final totals here tonight for the Dodgers: 5 runs, 5 hits, no errors. For the Padres, no runs on 6 hits, no errors. Padres dropped to 21-21. Dodgers improved to 27-14, and it sets up the rubber game of this three-game series tomorrow afternoon here in downtown San Diego. A lot to do on our post-game coverage. We'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. We'll have all the radio highlights for you and much, much more to come as we discuss this one. And let's start with a piece of good for the Padres in this game, and that was the performance of Matt Waldron, who was really, really good, I thought, in this ball game for the most part. 5 1/3 innings, 2 runs given up total. He had given up just 1 run when he came out in the 6th inning, and for the most part tonight, especially after 5 innings, Matt Waldron did his job, did what you wanted him to do against this very dangerous Dodger lineup, and that was keep the Padres right in this game. So before we get to some of the issues in this one, I do think you have to give Matt Waldron some credit here for what he did tonight, keeping the Padres in the game. He was solid. As far as the issues here tonight for the Padres, obviously we begin in the 6th inning where the bullpen, once again, it was rocky for the bullpen. We look at what Adrian Morejon did after Matt Waldron leaves, a runner on first base with 1 out. Morejon gets the 2nd out of the inning, but then he does something that you just can't afford to do against this Dodger lineup. That was walk Will Smith with 2 men away, then walk Max Muncy with 2 men away, and then Padres go to Enyel De Los Santos. Dodgers have the bases loaded with 2 men away. Teoscar Hernandez coming up. So Mike Shildt rightfully goes to Enyel De Los Santos to face Hernandez. De Los Santos gets ahead of Hernandez 1-2. But then De Los Santos just hung a slider that got a ton of plate, and Hernandez, a really, really good hitter, took care of it, hit it out for a grand slam, and that was about it tonight. Made it a 5-0 Dodger lead. They go on to win by that final score. So the bullpen certainly shaky in this game. Another rough moment for Enyel De Los Santos, who's now given up a home run in each of his last 3 outings. Obviously, Adrian Morejon has been good as of late, but again, he did something in that 6th inning you just can't do, and that's issue 2 straight 2-out walks to load the bases, and then just a mistake by De Los Santos on a 1-2 pitch, and Hernandez got all of it. So the bullpen, whether it's De Los Santos, whether it's Yuki Matsui last night, what those guys did in Chicago, it continues to be a little up and down and a little shaky, as finding continues to be a bit of an issue for the Padres right now. The other issue here tonight was the offense once again, really for a 2nd straight game in this series. Now, last night, Tyler Glasnow was exceptional. I don't know that any offense was going to do a whole lot more than what the Padres did last night with the way Tyler Glasnow is going right now. But here tonight, you felt like at least a more hittable left-hander in James Paxton. Paxton was great. 6 innings, no runs given up. You look at the 2 games in this series for the Padres offense, 2 runs on 9 hits total. And you go back even deeper than that, go back to the Tuesday in Chicago. That was the game where Shota Imanaga had the great start. Then Profar hits the home run to give the Padres the lead. They ultimately end up losing that game on the walk-off home run by Michael Busch. If you go back to that game, that's 4 games ago now. The Padres have only scored a total of 7 runs. So all of a sudden, despite the Padres doing some winning in that span, well, I guess they're 2-2 now in those 4 games. Only 7 runs in the last 4 games. So the offense has gone pretty quiet here as of late. Obviously, the bullpen's been a little bit shaky, and against this Dodger team in particular, and as we know for the Padres, really in general, the margin for error is slim because this Dodger team can hurt you if you give them opportunities. And they got a big opportunity in that sixth inning. It was backed up by really good starting pitching from James Paxton, and the Padres offense really, despite hitting the ball hard tonight, and I'm not saying that as an excuse for the Padres tonight, but they did make some hard contact that got caught. I mean, if you want to get into something like expected batting average, I will here tonight because I think it stands out. The Padres had a .335 expected batting average here tonight. The Dodgers had 180, and the Dodgers had 5 runs. The Padres had none. So there was a little bit of that here tonight, but look, end of the day, they scored no runs. So is what it is here tonight. Do I think tonight is the end of the world? No. I think if you're a Padres fan, your focus should be on winning series right now, and the Padres still have an opportunity to do that tomorrow with Yu Darvish on the mound, Walker Buehler on the mound for L.A. So bottom line is this: you got an opportunity to win this series tomorrow after a really good road trip to Arizona and Chicago, after winning 2 out of 3 against Cincinnati. You have the opportunity to do that tomorrow, and I think tomorrow you're looking for 2 things: Yu Darvish to have another good outing, and this offense to get it going, because you got to see this offense start to get it going again. Last 4 games, just 7 runs total, and that's not going to really get it done. So we'll see if the Padres can get the bats going. Tough one here today. Dodgers win it 5-0 over the Padres. We'll come back with our radio highlights. We'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt, and much, much more to come. More post-game coverage after this on the Padres Radio Network. Our post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you here inside the loft at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we wrap this one up. Tough one here tonight for the Padres as they fall 5-0 to the LA Dodgers. Padres and Dodgers have now split the opening 2 games of this 3-game series. Padres still with an opportunity to win tomorrow take this series to make it 4 consecutive series wins, and if the Padres can do that, I think you'll take it. Padres drop to 21-21 with the defeat here tonight. Dodgers improve to 27-14. We'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt coming up in just a little bit, so stay tuned for that. But first, let's tell you how this one went down at Petco Park tonight.
What moments had the biggest impact on today's game? We'll paint you a picture with our game recap on the Padres Radio Network.
Matt Waldron took the mound for the Padres in the top of the first inning. He got the first 2 outs, but then it was Freddie Freeman.
1-1 pitch hit in the air deep down the right field line. Fernando towards the corner looking up. This one gonna go. First row Petco porch right by the foul pole. And Freddie Freeman's 4th home run of the season gives the Dodgers a 1-0 lead here in the first.
Matt Waldron was keeping the Padres right in the game. That was the only run he allowed in the first inning. He dealt a 1-2-3 second. Then he dealt with a runner on second base and nobody out in both the third and the fourth, but didn't allow a run in either frame. Meanwhile, James Paxton was rolling for the Dodgers. 4 scoreless innings to begin his day. Waldron pitched a 1-2-3 top of the 5th inning. Padres threatened against Paxton in the bottom half. Donovan Solano hit a leadoff double, the first Padre to reach second base against Paxton, but the 7, 8, and 9 batters went down in order. Solano was left on second base. Dodgers still led just 1-0. Heading to the top of the 6th inning, Matt Waldron went back to work. He got the first out, but then issued a walk to Shohei Ohtani. That was it for Waldron. Adrian Morejon entered. He got the second out, but then he issued 2 straight walks to load the bases. With the right-handed hitting, Teoscar Hernandez coming up, the Padres went to righty Enyel De Los Santos out of the bullpen.
1-2 now. De Los Santos will deliver. And that's hit in the air to deep left field. This one way back, gonna go a grand slam. Teoscar Hernandez, a grand slam off of Enyel De Los Santos. And just like that, the Dodger lead is 5-0.
De Los Santos, like Jesse said, got ahead 1-2, but then De Los Santos threw it a hanging slider. Hernandez got all of it, and just like that, the Dodgers led 5-0. To be honest with you, that was about it tonight. Johnny Brito pitched 2 scoreless innings out of the bullpen to keep it 5-0. Padres did have a scoring chance against Ryan Yarbrough in the bottom half of the 8th inning after a couple of 2-out singles from Luis Arraez and Fernando Tatis Jr., but they didn't score. Jerks and Profar hit one hard down the third baseline, but Max Muncy made a diving catch on a line drive that, if he doesn't get it, is ticketed down the left field line. Padres had a runner on second base in the 9th inning, couldn't get him in, and that was that here tonight. Final score, Dodgers 5 and the Padres 0. All the runs in this game coming on 2 swings, the solo home run by Freddie Freeman and the grand slam by Teoscar Hernandez in the 6th inning. Again, final totals here tonight. Dodgers 5 runs, 5 hits, no errors. Padres no runs, 6 hits, no errors. Padres back to 500 at 21-21. Padres offense in this series, despite a great win last night, no doubt about it, they've only scored 2 runs on 9 hits in this series to this point. 7 runs combined if you go back to the last 4 games, the game 2 of that 3-game set at Wrigley Field in Chicago. So we'll see if the Padres offense can get it going tomorrow against right-hander Walker Buehler on the mound for L.A. Tough one here tonight. Padres fall 5-0. Let's go downstairs here at Petco Park and hear some post-game reaction.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Presented by Sinley Food. Spice up your culinary life.
Mike, how do you navigate this here while your bullpen's having some struggles, especially your higher leverage guys?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to get out, so we're going to need to keep running them out there and pitching. You know, we're passing the ball around a little bit, but the fact of the matter is that our starter did his part for sure, and then the thing that's not the only thing, but the biggest troubling thing is the walks. It's start off the 6th with a walk and then a couple walks. Listen, the homers are going to happen. We don't like them. But, Dale is in the strike zone, and he's looking to make pitches in the strike zone. That's where you need to get your outs, especially with this kind of club. So put yourself in harm's way with the walks. Saying so homers won't beat you. Well, it might have tonight. But when you put the bases, loaded based on walking them, you're putting yourself in harm's way.
Is it clear to you at the start that there's something with Morahone, who has been so good, and he could not seem to kind of find the strike zone?
Yeah, I can't, clearly if we could pinpoint it, we would, he's been very good. He's been very good, and he's earned the opportunity to get the opportunity he got tonight in that situation. Still like the at-bat with Waldron and Ohtani. He took some awkward swings even in that third at-bat, but couldn't able to throw it over the plate, and Freddie had already taken good at-bats against Waldron, so now it's Morahon's lane against Freddie, and he good fly ball to left, and here we go, and just got away from him with Smith, who I think he was probably pitching carefully with an open base. And then, but we had a ball that gets to the backstop that allows the open base, and then Muncy got away from him. So, it's just that was his spot, and just wasn't able to get his couple outs.
What did you make of what the offense did tonight? Because there were some well-hit balls, but it seems like every time you got guy maybe in scoring.
Yeah, it's one of those nights where you just took a lot of good at bats and tight ball game, except for that sixth inning, and just weren't able to find any holes, and put together consistent bats. Paxton did a nice job, but liked our approach. A lot of balls hit hard at people, and they made some really nice defensive plays. Close ball game. Ball couldn't find some grass for us a couple times.
What was your assessment of Waldron?
Good. He was good. He was really good. I liked his conviction. I thought he controlled counts. The knuckleball was excellent. I also thought his fastball command was really good. He's able to throw some real quality fastballs and command it, and you do that coupled with the knuckleball. It's a great recipe to be able to do what he did today and against a tough lineup and turn it over, into the third time and get us into the sixth with one run.
What was the explanation you got for the balk call on Morahone?
Didn't come stop.
Okay.
Yep.
We talked about this a little bit earlier, the kind of against left-handers. I know you haven't faced a lot of them this season, but is it at all concerning to you, or do you understand that, like, given some of the ready bats you have in your lineup?
It's really not concerning at all. Again, some balls go left or right a couple of feet. I mean, Bogey took some great swings tonight. He's got some history with Paxton with 3 homers, and he took some great swings. Toddy took some good swings. I mean, hit some balls right at people. So no, I'm not going to. We'll face any and all, lefty, righty. Bring them on.
I know this happens to pitchers sometimes, but how disappointed is it? You got Matt, who is your number 5 starter ostensibly, and you guys could have lost 1-0 tonight. It wouldn't matter. You're not scoring a lot for Waldron.
Yeah, I mean, we need to score for any and everybody, and last time out we did score over in Arizona, his last outing, so, we did put some runs on the board, but having consistently been able to get him that support, and, sometimes it's hard to pinpoint those things. Clearly we're trying, and also don't expect it to continue. I expect there to be run support every night.
Last time against Paxton, you guys drew a lot of walks. He's kind of known for, walking guys at times.
Yep.
Tonight, other than being in the zone more, what did you guys see from him that was different?
That was that. I mean, the stuff's good. This guy's got a nice arm. He knows how to pitch. He's clearly had success in the league, and did a really good job tonight. But he just did that, Dennis. He was able to control counts, be in the strike zone, and make quality pitches in the strike zone against a lot of good hitters. So, did a nice job.
That was Padres manager Mike Shildt after tonight's game here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft as we wrap this one up. Padres fall 5-0. A number of different things to chew on there, and I'll get to it when we come back after this break. But I want to talk about the walks playing a big role in this game. Matt Waldron, what he did, we'll talk more about that. And a good point brought up there during the press conference. The Padres have almost weirdly, considering the quality of the right-handed bats in their lineup, they're struggling against lefties. And when you compare it just to last year, the difference is really, really stark. So I want to get into that when we come back. I'm going to save it. Let's go to break. But we're going to talk about what Mike Shildt had to say, some of the things that were touched on in that press conference. We'll cycle through our daily awards here. Full out-of-town scoreboard coming your way as well. And if you want to get involved on our post-game show, as always, you can do that in a number of different ways. If you're a social media person, you can tweet at us or Instagram DM me at SammyLev, SammyLev. Again, SammyLev. SAMMYLEV. If you want to get involved on the video stream, if you're watching on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, you can comment there. And as always, we'll take your phone calls, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973, the phone number if you want to get involved. Before we go to break, just an update from the Dodgers clubhouse, because it was interesting. Shohei Ohtani was pinch hit for in the ninth inning by Kike Hernandez, and it was a little weird because it was only a 5-0 game, and Ohtani's DHing anyway, so it did raise my eyebrows, and I think a lot of people's eyebrows when he was pinch hit for. It turns out Ohtani, and this is coming from the Dodgers clubhouse, I'm reading a tweet here from Jack Harris of the LA Times. Dave Roberts said Shohei Ohtani was removed from tonight's game because his back tightened up. Roberts said his concern level right now is minimal, but is leaning toward giving Ohtani the day off tomorrow. They'll see how he feels in the morning. So Shohei Ohtani was taken out because his back tightened up. And it sounds like it's not a for sure thing that he will play tomorrow. So keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on the lineup for the Dodgers tomorrow. Perhaps no Shohei Ohtani for the Dodgers tomorrow. So we'll keep an eye on that, and update there from the Dodgers clubhouse after tonight's game. Final score again here tonight, Dodgers 5, Padres nothing. We'll talk more about this game when we come back on the Padres Radio Network. Our post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you as we wrap this one up here at Petco Park. Dodgers 5 and the Padres is nothing. Tough one here tonight. Padres and Dodgers will play the final game and rubber match of this 3-game series tomorrow at 1:10. More on that game coming up later. We'll cycle through some of our daily awards here in a little bit. Full out-of-town scoreboard. If you want to get involved, you can do that on our social media, Twitter, Instagram at Sammy Lev, SAMMYLEV. YouTube comments, if you want to call in, 833-288-0973 is always the phone number. Before we get to anything else, I do want to touch on a few things that were discussed during Mike Shildt's post-game press conference, some of the topics that were talked about. And obviously, Tonight, the walks were a major, major issue for the Padres. You look at the 6th inning. The walk from Waldron to Ohtani, all right, no big deal. Waldron, like I said in the open, really good here tonight. Kept his team right in the game, and quite frankly, against this Dodger lineup, what more could you have asked for tonight? I mean, through 5 innings, gave up 1 run, and it was a 1-0 game. So tonight is not on Matt Waldron. Bottom line is that. But he gives up the walk to Ohtani. Adrian Morejon comes in, gets the second out of the inning. At that point, it's just Ohtani on first base, 2 men away. But after that, Morejon does something you can't do against this Dodger lineup. He walks Smith, walks Muncy, 2 consecutive 2-out walks, and then Aniel De Los Santos comes in to face Teoscar Hernandez, gets ahead of 1-2, hangs a slider. Hernandez hits a grand slam to left, and it's a 5-0 game. The walks were a big issue, and it's been an issue at times for this bullpen. We can go back to the game in Chicago that Yuki Matsui, when he came in, that was on the Tuesday night after Profar hit the home run. Matsui comes in, walks the leadoff guy, and what do you know? The Cubs end up scoring that run, tying the game to go on to win it. The point being, walks have been an issue. They were an issue here tonight, and the Padres bullpen has to find a way to limit those in big spots and close games. So that's number 1. Number 2, and I mentioned this before we went to break. The Padres have really struggled just as far as team batting average against left-handed pitching. Keep in mind, James Paxton, like Mike Shildt alluded to, this is a veteran left-hander, good stuff. The last time the Padres faced him, they walked 8 times against James Paxton, a career high in walks. They walked no times tonight. No walks in this game total against Paxton or anybody else. But even beyond that, 6 scoreless innings for Paxton tonight. This season, the Padres, and they have right-handed bats like Tatis and Machado and Bogarts and Kim and Camposano on most nights, they're batting .206 against left-handed pitching this year. It's a really weird thing. .206, this, you would imagine, would be a team that would hit left-handed pitching a lot better than that. .206 against lefties, I mean, that is 27th in the major leagues right now in team batting average against lefties. To give you context, last season, despite some of the struggles and the issues for the Padres last season, they had .271 against lefties. So it is a stark difference between this year and last year. .206 this year to .271 last year against lefties. That is something that just in the macro of this season and this offense, you really would like to see improve. This team hit lefties better because you feel like they should. And again, when you look at this game, you look at this series, you look at the last 4 games, the thing that stands out is that the offense has not scored very much. Again, just 2 runs on 9 hits in the first 2 games of this series, albeit yesterday against the guy in Tyler Glasnow who's been really, really, really good against everybody. That's okay yesterday. I'm fine with that. And they won the game. But you zoom out a little bit farther, last 4 games, they've scored only 7 runs. I mean, that's just not enough. So you hope tomorrow this offense gets it going again and finds ways to produce more runs. No runs on 6 hits here tonight. Let's tell you about our relief pitcher of the game.
Which pitcher was able to come in and slam the door shut? It's time for the relief pitcher of the game in support of the Jacobs and Cushman San Diego Food Bank, providing food assistance to local children, families, and seniors in need. To get help or give help, visit SanDiegoFoodBank.org.
Our relief pitcher of the game here tonight will stay in the Padres. I mean, look, Brito had 2 scoreless innings, although he did walk 2, allow 2 hits. They weren't the cleanest of innings. Stephen Kolek, a 1-2-3 9th inning. I want to keep it on the Padres tonight with relief pitcher. Let's give it to Kolek. 1-2-3 9th inning. Kept it a 5-0 game at the time. Did his job. So Stephen Kolek. our relief pitcher of the game here tonight as the Padres fall 5-0 to the LA Dodgers. When we come back, we'll have the full out-of-town scoreboard. We'll continue to talk about tonight's game. Take your phone calls if you want to get them in. 833-288-0973, the phone number. 833-288-0973, the number to call. I do want to read a tweet here that I have from Daniel. Daniel saying, standouts today, Dodgers defense, fantastic. It was, Daniel. It really was. Look, again, this is not an excuse, but the Padres hit the ball hard on a number of occasions tonight, and it got caught. It did. And we went over the expected batting average earlier. The numbers sort of show that tonight. Daniel also saying, let me continue here, Pod's bullpen shaky, Morjon and Santos could have easily been a one-run game, tough L. I'm with you. It certainly, look, bottom line is this. If De Los Santos strikes out Hernandez there, just gets him out, it's still a one-run game going to the bottom of the sixth inning. So it became a totally different ball game when Hernandez hits the grand slam, no doubt about it. But fair points all the way around, Daniel. Bullpen was shaky. Dodgers defense was really good and could have been a one-run game. If they're able to get out of that sixth inning, they could not. Dodgers win it tonight 5-0. We'll come back with more on our post-game coverage after this on the Padres Radio Network. Our post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as the Padres fall 5-0 tonight in Game 2 of this three-game series against the LA Dodgers. Still a lot to do on our post-game coverage. We'll have the full out-of-town scoreboard coming your way in just a little bit. We'll get you ready for tomorrow, and we'll continue to work in some of your tweets, Instagram DMs, phone calls if you want to get them in at 833-288-0973, and your YouTube comments as well. I want to take a comment here on YouTube from Renee. Let me pop up the right comment here for those of you watching on YouTube. Trying to give you a good product on YouTube. Renee's saying, I would like to have seen a manufactured run on that double with Kim up to bat. Renee's talking about the fifth inning here. Let's talk a little bit about that fifth inning, because if you want to point out issues for the offense tonight, look, eighth inning, 2 on, 2 out, couldn't get a run, and at that point it's 5-0. So in the fifth inning, though, it's a good point, Renee, because at that point it was a 1-0 game. Padres get a leadoff double, finally a guy on second base against Paxton, who had been great. And after that, Ha-Seong Kim ends up flying out to center, can't get the runner over. Azokar pops out, Higashioka strikes out, and that was the inning. It's a great opportunity to tie the game at 1. Padres couldn't do it. And look, moving forward, whether it's tomorrow or the days to come, when you get opportunities like that against the guy who's really cruising like Paxton, you got to take advantage. So Padres unable to manufacture a run to tie the game in that spot. And the next half inning, the top of the sixth inning, is where Hernandez hit the grand slam. Tough one tonight. Padres shut out tonight against the Dodgers. Let's tell you about our player of the game.
Which player had the biggest impact on today's game? Let's find out who is today's player of the game. Presented by Valley View Casino and Hotel. Catch every game at Patties and Bites. Plus, enjoy $4 beer every Thursday. Visit valleyviewcasino.com today.
Our player of the game tonight, we'll stay with the Padres. And look, I know it might sound a little odd to select the losing pitcher as player of the game, but I'm going to stay on the Padres tonight, and I'm going to give it to Matt Waldron. And look, you know, with me, this is the Padres radio network. I try to keep the awards on the Padres as much as I can, okay, when there's an option. I'm going to give it to Matt Waldron tonight. I mean, I don't know that you could have expected better from Waldron tonight. He was good. I mean, he was good. I mean, he took a 1-0 deficit into the sixth inning. He'd only given up the home run to Freeman. He did a really good job getting out of trouble in the third and the fourth. He did, to me, what your number 5 starter, if you get that out of your number 5 starter against this Dodger lineup, you'll take it. Like, to me, Matt Waldron did his job here tonight. Now, did he walk Ohtani in the sixth inning? He did. And he ended up getting charged with 2 runs because Ohtani scores on the grand slam. But look, there were 2 outs in that inning, and then Adrian Morejon walks 2 in a row, and then De Los Santos gives up the grand slam. So you could easily argue that that run never should have happened, right? I just thought Matt Waldron, for a number 5 starter against this caliber of lineup, did what you would have wanted him to do, and that was give up a run and keep your eye on the game and give your offense more than a chance to win this game while he was in there. So, yeah, Matt Waldron lost the game. He drops to 1-5 on the year, but I'm going to pick him for player of the game tonight. Maybe people out there will say, Sam, you can't do that. Come on. But I'm going to do it tonight. I thought Waldron did his job tonight, quite frankly. So I do not think Waldron was the problem here tonight. Look, I see some of the comments and some of the tweets I've got. You know, I just think if you zoom out, you look at this game, and quite frankly, I know that the start in Arizona wasn't great for Waldron at all, but there have been a lot of starts like this for him where, number one, I feel like he kind of does his job. Is he dominant? No. But does he keep you in the game? He does. And does he settle down after giving up some early runs? He does. The Padres also, they don't give him any run support. I mean, the game in Arizona was different. He didn't have a good start, but he's had quite a few like this where the final line, you look at it, you're like, it's not half bad. There's just not a lot of run support for him either. So I thought Waldron did his job tonight, bottom line. Let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Let's take a trip around the Bigs and tell you about the scores you need to know in our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Meat, where great taste meets integrity.
We take a look at games going on right now. I should say everything's gone final in the major leagues tonight. Blue Jays beat the Twins 10-8 in Toronto. Orioles beat the Diamondbacks 5-4 in 11 in Baltimore. Jordan Westberg, a walk-off single in the 11th inning for the O's. Pirates beat the Cubs 10-9 in Pittsburgh. Paul Skeens made his Major League debut, the very, very highly touted right-hander for the Pirates. He was pretty good in his Major League debut. Skeens struck out 7 in 4 innings, gave up 3 runs, but he was pretty good in his debut. Pirates won it 10-9. Very, very highly anticipated debut for Skeens. Braves nearly no-hit the Mets today, 4-1. Mets were down 4-0 in the 9th inning, 2 outs. Braves were 1 out away from a combined no-hitter. J.D. Martinez hit a home run in the 9th inning with 2 outs to make it 4-1, break up the no-hit bid. Braves hang on for a 4-1 win. Orlando Arcia also a home run in that game for Atlanta. Rays beat the Yankees 7-2 in Tampa Bay. Randy Arozarena, a 3-run home run for Tampa in that one. Phillies beat the Marlins 8-3 in Miami. Red Sox 4, Nationals 2 in Boston. Tigers beat the Astros 8-2 in Detroit. Kerry Carpenter, 2 home runs in that game for the Tigers. White Sox beat the Guardians 3-1 in Chicago. Giants beat the Reds 5-1 in San Francisco. Matt Chapman, a grand slam in that game for San Francisco. Brewers beat the Cardinals 5-3 in Milwaukee. Rhys Hoskins, a 3-run home run in that game for the Brew Crew. Rockies over the Rangers 8-3 in Colorado. Other scores: Angels beat the Royals 9-3. A's beat the Mariners 8-1 in Seattle. And that is a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Saturday. When we come back here on the Padres Radio Network, we'll wrap things up, get you ready for tomorrow, and put a bow on Game 2 of this 3-game series. Tough one tonight for the Padres, 5-0. The Dodgers win it against the Pods here tonight. More post-game after this. Our post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Dodgers 5, Padres nothing. The final score here tonight. Padres fall to 21-21. Dodgers improve to 27-14, setting up the rubber match of this three-game series tomorrow. More on that game coming up in just a little bit. Sam Levitt with you here inside the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we wrap this one up. Appreciate you joining us here on this Saturday. Tough one for the Padres here tonight. No runs on 6 hits. Padres have scored just 2 runs in the first 2 games of this series. Like I've said a few times here, 7 runs going back their last 4 games. So we'll talk about it more tomorrow on the pregame, but they've got to get this offense going. They've got to get Manny going a little bit. He was 0 for 4 tonight. Manny yesterday, 0 for 3. Got to get Bogarts going, 0 for 4 tonight. Bogarts 0 for 3 yesterday. Xander's now 0 for his last 14. They got to get these guys going in the big picture of this season and this offense. Padres did have opportunities, like we've said, 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position here tonight. Padres left on 7. Dodgers weren't great in opportunities either. They were 1 for 11. They left on 6, but again, they got the big swing when they needed it. That was the grand slam by Teoscar Hernandez. And unfortunately here tonight, speaking of the grand slam, that was our play of the game.
What was the crucial play that determined who came out on top? This is today's play of the game, presented by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
1-2 now. De Los Santos will deliver. And that's hit in the air to deep left field. This one way back, gonna go a grand slam. Teoscar Hernandez, a grand slam off of Daniel De Los Santos. And just like that, the Dodger lead is 5-0.
Unfortunately, here tonight, that's our play of the game. One of those nights where we had one option, it had to be that. Teoscar Hernandez, the grand slam in the 6th inning to make it a 5-0 game. Tonight's play of the game. That coming off Daniel De Los Santos, like Jesse alluded to. De Los Santos got ahead 1-2, and he threw a bad pitch. It was a hanging slider on 1-2, leaked out over the heart of the plate, and Hernandez got all of it. So, tough one in that sense here tonight for De Los Santos. He has now given up 3 home runs, 1 in each of his last 3 outings. So he's given up a home run in each of his last 3 outings. So we'll see if De Los Santos can start to bounce back. He's an important part of that bullpen, no doubt. And that's our play of the game tonight, the Hernandez grand slam. All right, taking a look ahead to tomorrow. And like I said in the open, like I've said a few times here, here's the good news despite a 5-0 loss tonight. The good news is that the Padres have an opportunity to win this series tomorrow. The Padres have an opportunity to win a 4th consecutive series. And the Padres have an opportunity to end this week above 500 and go 4-2 against 2 pretty good teams. Well, the Cubs should be in the postseason mix. The Dodgers are really, really good, as we know. So you want to win series right now. So it makes tomorrow, I'm not saying it's the biggest game of the year, nothing like that, but focus on winning series. And the Padres still do obviously have an opportunity to do that tomorrow. Pitching matchup tomorrow, a good one. Right-hander Yu Darvish on the mound for the Padres. He's been very good since coming off the IL. Right-hander Walker Buehler on the mound for the Dodgers. And by the way, Padres have not seen Walker Buehler in some time. Remember, he had Tommy John surgery and missed a lot of time. The last time the Padres saw Walker Buehler was in September of 2021. So it's been more than 2 years since they saw Walker Buehler, but he will pitch against the Padres tomorrow. First pitch tomorrow at 1:10 p.m. Arico Water SoCal Padres pregame show will begin at 12:10. Certainly hope you can join us then. Again, Buehler on the mound for the Dodgers, Darvish on the mound for the Padres. Taking a look at the final totals here tonight. For the Dodgers, 5 runs, 5 hits, no errors. They left on 6. For the Padres, no runs, 6 hits, no errors. They left on 7. Winning pitcher in this game was James Paxton, who improves to 5-0. Losing pitcher was Matt Waldron, who drops to 1-5. Time of game here tonight, 2 hours and 36 minutes. The crowd, and this is something I should have noted earlier, but I'll note it right now. Not only the 11th sellout of the season at Petco Park, but the largest crowd in Petco Park history. The attendance here tonight, 46,701. the largest crowd in Petco Park history. That surpassed the previous record set in March of 2014 against the Dodgers. That was 45,567. So again, big crowd here tonight, the largest in the history of the stadium. 11 sellout of the season here at Petco Park, 46,701. That'll do it for our post-game coverage here tonight. As always, if you missed any of our post-game show, you can go back and listen to all of it on the Inside San Diego Baseball podcast with Sam Levitt, available on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcasts. For our great studio coordinator, Frank Marchese, I'm Sam Levitt saying so long and good night. Again, the final score, the LA Dodgers 5 and the San Diego Padres 0. We'll talk to you tomorrow from Petco Park on the Padres Radio Network.